Morning. Not the best morning. I've woken up in a shitty mood, and I know I've woken up in a shitty mood because I used last night, and I tend to not cope with things very well. Yesterday I had some guys over to do the yard. It was looking like a bit of a jungle before. They said they do it for $80 straight there, so I was like, alright, yeah, cool, whatever. Can you give me a receipt? They're like, yeah, we can do that, and I'm like, cool. And so Mum's like, can you make sure the receipt's made out in my name for tax purposes? I'm like, yeah, cool. And then he's like, yeah, so you're just gonna like bank transfer? Or I'm like, look, I've actually got the cash here, so if you can give me a receipt, happy to give you the cash for it now. And then he goes and like fucks around in his car for a couple of minutes, and then like comes back out, and it's like this weird like little tiny pad. It doesn't have his ABN, it doesn't have whether or not GST was included, whether or not it's been paid in full, it doesn't have a to or a from or what for. It only has like two, or not even two, it has from and what for. And I'm like, I don't know if this is going to cut it, mate. He's like, I've got a proper template at home, I can send you the digital one. So I'm like, yeah, alright, cool, do that. 6 hours later, I finish Pile and send him a message. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Hey man, just confirming the spelling's all right because I haven't received an invoice yet. He's like, oh, I'm just sending it through now. And he emails through a photo he's taken off his phone of the screen, and it's got all that like warped shit, and you can't read anything properly. And I'm like, sorry dude, that's not gonna fly. Like, can you send it to me as a PDF or a Word document or something like that so I can print it out and everything like that? And then I've woken up this morning to like this rich text format version. Anyway, I could actually make out his ABN this time and looked it up, and he's some sole trader registered for, it doesn't say what kind of work, up in Queensland, and only since July this year. So I'm starting to be like, So all I did was I just called him this morning and I said, hey mate, look, I got your invoice. I just wanted to confirm, like, you've spelt my mum's name wrong, and when I send through the funds, will you also be sending through a receipt? And he's like, look, just fucking forget about it, eh? I'm like, oh, this has been enough of a headache as it is. And I'm like, alright, cool. Just trying to do the right thing, make sure it's all above board, professional. But if that's how you want to be, cool. So we'll see. I don't know. Samsung's doing this weird thing now where it's like telling me when my messages are being delivered and read, and I can see it's almost working like Messenger, but it's SMSs, and it's like, don't like that. Don't like it. But anyway, like I did use last night. I think where that actually came from was I'm used to dropping off at Jonesy's on the way back from Pole, and having that as kind of my wind down routine. And I forced myself into the bath, just my hair's gross, so I'm going to jump through the shower and wash that. But yeah, I used a little bit. I used the last of what was the mix. I didn't cut anything new up, and when that was finished I made myself go to bed on that. Tonight's plan is, I still have Pole tonight. I have a second class a week now, but tonight's plan is to not use tonight. I'm just being gentle on myself. I know it's going to sound like I'm making excuses, and maybe I am, and call me out on it if you think I am, but I guess the way that I justified it to myself and what I am going to hold myself to is that I'm already vulnerable. Like by vulnerable I just mean like it's a really slim chance of like it's hard. It's really hard. I'm not at that place of strength and resilience where it's a little bit easier to ignore cravings and intrusive thoughts. So like that's what I mean by vulnerable. I'm vulnerable to those intrusive thoughts and not blocking them out. So anyway, I guess my permission thought to myself was, you're used to it, you've bought, you've killed time for 3 hours, you've done other relaxing activities instead, and this is just to finish what's there. And then tonight, Thursday night, we are going to come home and establish the new routine where we come home and don't use at all. And that way it's doing it one night after pole this week, and then next week it'll be the 2 nights, rather than going like 2 nights bang bang in a row straight after I've just had a lapse. And I also wasn't obviously on here as much yesterday, so I think I do need to maybe check in a little bit more, particularly when I'm feeling really, really lonely and desperate to talk to people. I'm here to talk to myself. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna get going. Thanks for checking in, and I feel better.